On the morning of August 1st, 2025, something happened that had never happened before in American history. It wasn't a new law, wasn't a declaration of war. No, it all started with a single social media post that sent absolute shockwaves from Wall Street all the way to Washington, D.C. And it was all because of a routine economic report. And this was it. The announcement. The President of the United States, on social media, declared he was firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Dr. Erika McEntarfer. And the accusation was just explosive, that the country's official jobs numbers, the ones everyone relies on, were being faked for political reasons. Now here's why that is such a big deal. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, the BLS, is supposed to be the impartial scorekeeper for the economy. They're like the umpire. Firing the head ump because you don't like the call? Well, that's a move that immediately set off alarms everywhere about the integrity of the very numbers that we all depend on. So to really get a grip on this historic firing, we have to rewind the clock just a few hours. We have to look at what the BLS actually reported. What on earth was in this jobs report that could set off such a firestorm? Okay, so the main number for July, the headline number, was pretty weak. The economy added just 73,000 new jobs. Now, that was way below what economists were forecasting, and it definitely suggested things were slowing down. But honestly, that alone wasn't the bombshell. No, the real shock was kind of buried deeper in the report. See, every month, the BLS doesn't just put out the new data. They also go back and revise the numbers from the last 2 months as they get more complete information. And that is where the bombshell was hiding. And here they are. The revisions for May and June were just stunning. May's job gains got slashed by 125,000. June's were cut by 133,000. All of a sudden, 2 months that we thought showed pretty steady growth were revealed to be almost completely flat. The entire economic picture was redrawn literally overnight. You add those 2 months together, and that's over 250,000 jobs. Just gone. Poof. Jobs we thought existed, but didn't. This was the biggest 2-month downward revision since the pure chaos at the start of the pandemic. It was a huge correction that made the economy look way, way weaker. So this raises the big question, right? Was this just a massive, honest-to-goodness statistical correction, or was it something more deliberate, like the president was claiming? To figure that out, we need to know who was in charge. Dr. Erika McEntarfer. Well, she is a career labor economist. We're talking a PhD, over 20 years of nonpartisan government work. Her resume includes the Census Bureau, the Treasury Department, even the White House Council of Economic Advisors. Her whole background screams data expert, not political operative. But let's go back to that accusation. A Biden political appointee who had faked the jobs numbers. I mean, that paints a picture of a total party loyalist cooking the books. So how well does that claim actually hold up? Well, here's the reality of her appointment. Dr. McEntarfer was confirmed by the Senate with a huge bipartisan vote of 86-8. This wasn't some controversial razor-thin confirmation. You had Republicans and Democrats agreeing overwhelmingly that she was the right person for the job. As you can imagine, the fallout from all this was immediate. You had this combination of shockingly bad data and this totally unprecedented political firing, and it sent tremors through the financial and political worlds. The bond market reacted instantly, and when you see Treasury yields fall off a cliff like this, that is a giant flashing red light for fear. It means investors were scrambling for safety, dumping riskier stuff, and piling into government bonds because they were betting that big economic trouble and Fed interest rate cuts were coming. The stock market felt it too. The Dow dropped over 500 points right as the news hit. It was a clear vote of no confidence, just reflecting this deep uncertainty about the health of the economy and the stability of the institutions that are supposed to measure it. And the political criticism, it came in fast, and not just from Democrats. This quote here is from William Beach. He held the exact same job as commissioner of the BLS, and he was appointed by President Trump himself. I mean, when even your own former appointee is calling the move groundless and dangerous, you know a major line has been crossed. Okay, so let's put the political drama aside for a second. Why does this actually matter? Why should any of us care if a government statistics agency is independent or not? The whole mission of the BLS is to be the objective, fact-finding agency for our economy. Its data is the bedrock for, well, everything. The Federal Reserve uses this data to set interest rates. Businesses use it to decide if they're going to hire people or build a new factory. All of its power comes from one thing: credibility. And this is exactly why it matters to you. This isn't some abstract thing. The data from the BLS directly influences your mortgage rate. It impacts how your 401k does. It helps determine if companies in your town are hiring or firing people. At the end of the day, this is about whether we can trust the basic facts about our own economy. What happened on August 1st, 2025, basically put the numbers themselves on trial. When the scorekeepers can be fired at will and facts are treated like political footballs, it just creates this thick fog of uncertainty. And it leaves all of us with a really fundamental question. When that bedrock of objective data gets shaken, what is the ultimate cost? Not just to our wallets, but to our shared sense of what's even real.